This is a Matthews Wrestling Media's production. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to True On Air and a good Friday evening to you. This is your 30-minute update featuring the bro in the know. Give it up. Here's your host with the most, Front Row Joe. Wow, that was quite an intro. Unfortunately, I'm not Front Row Joe, not just yet anyway. That show will debut on August 31st after the premiere of Adrenaline opening day. I am Joe, though, and as the fearless leader of this venture, I decided to start this off tonight. I'm not sure when or even if Paul or Brian will be doing any shows. They're working really hard behind the scenes at the moment, and that's pretty much all I need from them. Paul takes care of our social media, which includes managing the community forum and updating our Twitter and Facebook. Basically, he does the marketing and analyst nerd stuff. Speaking of, don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at true_EW and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/true.ew. Please be sure to discuss this show, if you would, spread the word. I think there are plenty of links out there posted today that can be found using hashtag TrueOnAir. Brian is sort of my other hand. He'll be responsible for reviewing talent and getting the final event results together. Just so everyone knows, his name really isn't Brian. He answers to it. He's about as abrasive as a hag's thighs, but he's willing to help, and right now that's what I need, especially seems how we've already faced our own eFed problems. You can find a hashtag for that too. We've lost 2 members of our staff. Basically, one stepped away because he didn't have the availability, and the other due to differences in opinion based upon some market research that we received and some opinions of our preliminary results format. Him stepping away put a huge mark on our vision, as we're not able to use the 3D results that we hoped we were going to be. He was our 3DS animator, and he was adding sequences, animation sequences, or the wrestling moves to the 3D engine that we were going to use to produce our results. The concept was pretty simple. It was built on a heavily edited mod of Matt Dickey's Wrestling Empire 2008. Needless to say, without someone to build new moves, we're limited to those that were in the original game and the modded version, and there's just really no benefit to continuing and hoping that we're going to have 3D results. So I don't want to say that we're going to be like any other Fed or by any means run-of-the-mill, but like most promotions online, we will write out and post our results in text. My job's simple. I'm to develop a website with integrated social media. It's going to be creatively functional and as equivalently pleasantly aesthetic. Basically, I'm the other nerd. I'm the guy that's going to make the site work. The thing with the results brings up 2 new questions that I really have to think over as the promoter. The first, do I post weekly results and shorten the roleplay cycle, or do I keep bi-weekly shows for better quality and offer longer role-playing cycles? I think Paul's going to test the Twitter base and Facebook, and we're going to send some emails out and test some people just to see what their thoughts are, and we'll go forward from there. I want to do what's going to be best for everyone playing on the board. So the only way to do that is to poll our audience right now. I'll make that decision as True gets closer to launching. Just keep an eye on hashtag TrueLaunch and those postings for all the details. With all that out of the way, what is true wrestling? Well, right now that answer is under development or in development. So, without being a smart ass, I apologize to those who are listening. The real question is, what will true e-wrestling be? And there's basically two sides. There's the in-character side, and there's the out-of-character side. The in-character side I will go over briefly. True e-wrestling will be fantasy wrestling's return to professional wrestling. Not to say the traditional catch-can wrestling, but the exciting wrestling that was televised during the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars. Because that was fun to watch, and it was really entertaining, and it kept viewers glued to the TV. So that's kind of what I want to portray with True E-Wrestling. To compare True with a real life promotion would be kind of arbitrary at the moment. I'll bite because the promotion I have in my head doesn't exist. I think I can explain it well enough to where it'll paint a good picture. But imagine with me, if you will. Let's say back after the Monday Night Wars, let's just say Vince McMahon was no more. And here's the real stretch. WWE went under shortly after his demise. So there's no no Vince McMahon, no WWE for several years. And now that you've got that picture, let's say 6, 8, 10 years later, Shane O'Mac decides to put his money in with Stephanie's money and put it together, and they include the profits from selling anything formerly owned by their father and use it to build a brand new promotion. That's basically what True is going to be. That's the background story of True. Basically, Johnny and Lindsay Matthews are the son and daughter of the late Joseph Remington Matthews, who promoted the Interaction Wrestling Federation from 1999 through 2004. So that's basically the story there. And building off that story, and the stories that the handlers are going to bring to the table, probably about 25, 30 different people added to that story, and the feuds and angles and arcs that they're going to bring. That's what's going to be sold to the True crowd as they pack the arena or whatever. Other than that, it's basically just your startup after battling his father's superstars of the past. Johnny's basically going to take the reins of promoting and travel that path that his father paved several years ago. Out of character, it's basically an E-Fed. The main focus of an E-Fed is the participants in the game and the board in which you're playing. At least that's what I like to think. The focus should be on the handlers, and they should have a awesome environment in which to write and create the story. The site will offer many features found elsewhere, such as an automated site to view news, view and post role plays, view and post events, view character bios. All the updates that are made in the back end are on demand using a custom hybrid Perl and PHP. Not to say that there's anything wrong with any of these platforms I'm going to name, but to answer the question, true-ewrestling.com will not be a WordPress site, will not be Joomla. It's not going to be CMS based at all. It's not built on any of the existing Fed scripts. I've coded the locker room management suite from scratch. For those interested, the color scheme is the blue and grayscale design and basically the same layout of our newsletters and forum.true-ewrestling.com. Visitors will be able to sign up for an account and become a member. Once a member, you don't necessarily have to be a handler. You can be a fan. As a member, the results of our supercards are available. In other words, the supercard results are only viewable by members, like pay-per-views would be. Members who wish to handle a character on the roster will be able to create as many characters as authorized by Brian or myself. All characters that are included in the show, such as an escort by any title, such as bodyguard, valet, manager, agent, whatever the title is, any characters that will be included in the show need to have a character created by the handler and have a profile on the site. Characters based on their position will be able to post role plays. Members, I mean, they're not restricted to being fans. They're not restricted to being handlers. Members can also be staff, such as Paul, Brian, and I, or they can be broadcast members from other sites, columnists, for instance. If you want to post a column to true-ewrestling.com, that will be available as well. I want to go over role playing and how that will pan out in True. As of right now, unless I decide otherwise, and Paul posts that to the Twitter and Facebook and the forum, we're going to run. True's going to run bi-weekly shows and allow the roster to focus on producing quality role plays, quality segments, and then getting those strategies in on time. This means there's going to be 12-day role-playing cycles running from Saturday following the show, where the official bookings are posted, through the second Wednesday. So it's going to go from Saturday all the way through that week to the second Wednesday before the deadline. Deadline is at noon on Wednesdays. There's a one role-play requirement and a one role-play limit for a show. While you may post as many different While you may post as many character development role plays as you wish, the one you identify as your competitive role play will be the one that counts. If you fail to post a role play, it counts as a no-show. If you accrue 3 no-shows, you're no longer going to be able to participate on the True roster. We're not going to have the time to beg you to come play on the board. Not to say that if there's a problem you cannot come to me. My messaging is always open. I need to know what's going on. But if you're just blatantly no-showing, we're going to drop you from the roster. But if you fail to identify a role play as competitive role play, but you post any number of qualifying character role plays, that won't count as a no-show. You posted, you were there, you didn't get a competitive one up. You're not going to win because True is role play based. So whatever your weekly match coming up, it's not going to be a win for you, but it won't count as a no-show. Qualifying role plays that I mentioned are longer than 1,500 words and shorter than 3,000 words. And they score higher than 3.5 on the grading scale. I'm not going to go into the grading scale tonight. If you want to ask about it, I might briefly touch on it. But that's going to be made available to members when the site launches. Role plays basically count for 50% of a competitor's score. The other 50% of the competitor score is divided 25% bearing on the match strategy that's submitted, and that match strategy must be submitted on Wednesday between 12 noon at the deadline and 12 midnight as the strategy deadline, 12 midnight on Thursday morning. So Wednesday night, Thursday morning, however you look at it, 12 midnight. You've got 12 hours to post your strategy. You can work on it for as long as you'd like, but it needs to be posted between 12 and 12 on Wednesday. The other 25% will be based on participation in segments and angles. This ensures that the match results are based on overall effort and participation each show. Oh, and before I forget, when the site launches, role plays will be recognized as candids throughout the entire site. So they'll be recognized and called candids. And I think that covers just about everything I want to cover about role plays. Again, you can ask me whatever you'd like. I'm not going to go all that deeply on the grading at this point. I want that to be available for members when the site launches. To talk about events a little bit, we're going to have a flagship show. It's called Adrenaline. It's posted bi-weeklies on Fridays, and it starts Friday, August 31st. There will normally be 2 Adrenaline shows between each Supercard, with the exception of Championship Chaos in March, WrestleFest in September, and War Games in November, which will have 3 Adrenalines before each of them. And that's each year. Those 3 events will have 3 Adrenalines beforehand. They're going to be considered our biggest shows, and as such, I'm going to give them plenty of time for the roster to develop storylines and plenty of time for me to hype those events. Supercards are booked in advance, starting with the headline and feature matches, and then so on. Matches can be booked 3 to 4 weeks in advance. Role plays between the Saturday that the booking is made official and the deadline of the Supercard cycle all count toward a competitor's Supercard match results, meaning a player could have up to 3 role plays averaging into their overall Supercard score. Supercards will be scheduled as such. Just to go over these names and so everyone knows what they are beforehand. Ground Zero will be in January. Ground Zero will feature a 6-man elimination match contested within the confines of True's Steel Dome. It's not a cage, it's not a cell, it's a steel dome. Kind of resembles, if you want to picture the elimination chamber without the chambers. And it's a 6-man elimination match where the winner will go on to face the true heavyweight champion of the world at Championship Chaos in March. Championship Chaos is the second biggest event on the schedule. This is where we'll host celebrities and high caliber matches comparable to, let's say, SummerSlam. Fandemonium will take place in May. This event will allow visitors to the site to vote on certain stipulations of matches and have their hand over the control of the card through the Saturday following Championship Chaos all the way through the posting of Fandemonium. Those fans will be able to vote on those stipulations, and then the event will be written as the results are tabulated. In July, True will host the Tournament of Independence. That's an open invitation 8-man single elimination tournament featuring wrestlers from outside of True that are not currently active in a promotion considered any greater than national influence by popular eWrestling resource sites at that time. True will host championship matches between tournament rounds to include our True talent. The last Adrenaline in August will be our anniversary show and revered as such in its bookings. It's also the take-home show for WrestleFest. WrestleFest in September is the biggest show of the year. Basically, it's our grandpappy of them all. WrestleFest is where the biggest rivalries will be contested. The biggest names in True, movies and music will be on hand as we roll out the blue carpet. WrestleFest will also be the host of Matthews Wrestling Media's Hall of Fame and an awards show where True will honor superstars of MWM's past and present yearly awards to them for the most recent year. This year we're nominating 10 names. Normally we only nominate 4 or 5. 2 of them have been announced already. 8 of them remain. The biggest induction will be named on August 31st at True's Adrenaline opening night. You want to make sure that you're there for that. Championships, just to go over those briefly, True will contest 5 titles. 3 of these titles are divisionary, and 2 can be held by anyone willing to chase them. Basically, they have no weight, no gender, they have no restrictions. We're calling it the True Heavyweight Championship of the World, but True's major title can be worn by anyone, male or female, of any weight class. And it should be considered the focus and the pinnacle to any wrestler aspiring to be world class with True. The True Television Championship, or the Warrior Workers title, defines the dedication of its holder, as it's defended each and every show. Again, this belt is defended each and every show. Therefore, the champion, they're required to post role plays of the highest quality each and every week in order to defend it. That's why we're calling it the Warrior Workers title. Whoever's got that's going to have to work their ass off. The divisional titles are as such. They're representative of their divisions. Tag Team Championship will crown the best tag team in True. Official tag teams in True are single handler, meaning that teams that are handled by one person can contest, challenge, and defend the tag team title. Teams that are handled by multiple people will not be in the tag team division, as I'm not going to try to average out scores and work with that headache. Tag teams in True that are in the tag team division will be single-handle tag teams. The Lioness Championship will crown the best of our women's division. Basically, she'll be fierce, she'll be ferocious, and will be regarded as such. We've had some girls in our past with Matthews Wrestling Medias that have out role played some of my best male talents. So girls, I understand that this is a hard game to get into, but I understand you're just as talented, if not far better, in some cases. The High Impact Championship will crown the best of our Impact. That's high impact guys that are less than 225 pounds. These are the guys that can awe and wow the crowd in whatever way they wish, whether it's with high flying, whether it's with high impact moves, whether they're brutal. Basically, if it's shock and awe, this is the High Impact Championship division. Um, and that's basically the titles. Before getting into the launch will consist of the site going live at 12 noon Eastern Time on Friday, August 31st. This will include a simultaneous Skype chat like the one to follow this show tonight. Be sure to add true.ewrestling to your Skype and take part in hashtag TrueChat. Applications to join True's talent roster will open Friday, August 3rd. This will give 4 whole weeks to get a roster together prior to Adrenaline opening day. These applications based solely on the sample role plays that will be included, and answers to True's creative prospecting questions will determine the matches on Adrenaline opening night, where a main event will feature 2 former IAWF superstars and Matthews Wrestling Media's Hall of Fame inductees, as they get it on one last time. The match of the night will be a 10-man over-the-top rope battle royal. This will determine the seeding order of an 8-man single elimination tournament at WrestleFest 2 weeks later. The first 2 eliminations will be used as wild cards if any of the 8 seeds fail to show for WrestleFest. Otherwise, they're just going to face each other at the Supercard event between rounds somewhere. The television championship will also be decided. This will be in a fatal 4-way match. So we're looking at 14 people plus the 2 IWFers. If we have more people, I'll make more matches if need be. It really depends on applications. And again, the match competitors, the competitors I'm putting in each of these matches, are decided by Brian and myself based on sample role plays that are included with the applications. I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're from, I don't care what you've done before. The sample role play within your application is going to be the deciding factor of which match you're put in, and where your true career takes off and the direction in which it goes. So far as site features, I don't want to give too much away so far as the site's concerned. I can say that True will offer an outlet for everyone, as stated before, be you a fan, an e-wrestler, or even a journalist. Superstars will be ranked on the front page each week based on an algorithm that's determined by their role plays, how people view them, how people rate them, how they compare to the others. It's an algorithm that I've worked very hard to put together, and it looks like it's going to work out pretty well to determine who is popular and True. Role plays will be ranked as well, but that's going to be more on the ratings that they receive directly by visitors as they read it. When it comes to the design, I'll let the site speak for itself when it launches on Friday, August 31st, and again, that's at 12 noon Eastern Time. In the meanwhile, again, you can keep up with us on our social media outlets. You can follow us on Twitter at handle true_EW. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/true.ew. The community forum is open, and the landing page of the site should start forwarding people to the community after so much time has passed. Be sure to register there and participate. You'll be able to find a copy of this transcript there as well if you want to read that over, just in case you missed any of it. You can find the community forum at forum.true-ewrestling.com. You can also subscribe to our newsletter and swap 88x31 buttons with us to be displayed on the footer of the Hype site. Not sure how much more there really is to discuss, but before I open the lines for questions, I just want to thank everybody who's listening to this. It's been about 6 years since I've gotten into promoting, and I've been wanting to get back into it, so your support is greatly appreciated. I want to thank our partners, tshirthell.com, webn.com, and coderedrepair.net. I want to thank Dave of ewnexus.webs.com and Ben of blog-ew.com for their support of True on both of their sites. Be sure to check them out. Again, EW Nexus is ewnexus.webs.com, and Ben's blog is blog-ew.com. Special thanks to everyone that has participated in the hashtag Let Us Know. Your input's been pretty entertaining and quite informative. I don't know how their schedule is going to work or how long they'll continue. I'll have to check with Paul about that. Another thanks to all the other promoters out there and the handlers that keep this sport hobby creative, keep it entertaining, and have kept it going. It got real weak there for a while, and I'm glad to see some promotions pulled through it. And just as a special thanks, the guys that have been behind me all along, Justin, Glenn, Chris, Jason, Johnny, Jesse, and Simon, and Ian, for working with me through the IWF, DES, YCW all those years ago, and then continuing to support me, encourage me to get True up and running. So thanks everybody, and I will go ahead and open up the lines for questions.